Team IIT Madras. I'm Mosmi, this is Kailash, this is Burhan, and this is Satvik. And we are here to present about our project, our foundational advanced stack adaptation. So before we start with the project, I want to take a moment and talk about our motivation for working with different projects. So you see the number over there? That's the number of bacterial species on Earth. And surely most of them might be having some or the other advantages over the other bacterial species. And keeping this in mind, we started thinking that what if there are like many other bacterial species which can work better in some certain situations, and what if we engineer them? So with that in mind, we started a 2017 project called Chasirex. So Chasirex is a database of unconventional host organism, and we curated and documented some unconventional hosts. So the thing is, we have interesting chassis, and we have a lot of applications that those chassis can give. But the thing is, there are not a lot of tools available right now to work in synthetic biology. With this in mind, we started 2018 project. So Burhan will speak more about our project adaptation.
I'm proud to present adaptation, expanding the toolbox of Acinetobacter bailey. A. bailey is an interesting organism. It's non-pathogenic, it's naturally competent and nutritionally versatile. It is especially known for its capability to degrade aromatic compounds, due to which it finds many metabolic engineering applications. Since it is naturally competent, transformation is easy and it is easy to work with. So synthetic biology with A. bailey becomes much more easier. So the motivation comes from that A. bailey has pathways to degrade aromatic compounds. So we can, and it can degrade lignin monomers, which is abundant in plant biomass. So we can use A. bailey to produce biofuels. We can use A. bailey to produce lubricants and biosurfactants. People have showed that it can produce Vex esters. However, not many gene manipulation tools are available for A. bailey that hinders its synthetic biology applications. So, in expanding the toolbox, we focus on making a synthetic promoter library, codon usage table, and codon optimized reporter proteins. So the synthetic promoter library that we aim to build is T5 based, and it has a -35, -10 region which the RNA polymerase recognizes and binds and initiates the transcription process. Since in prokaryotes transcription is coupled with translation, the promoter strength affects the protein expression to a major extent, and the flanking region, here region 1, region 2 and region 3, they affect the strength of the promoter. So we have submitted the promoter constructs in this form, with the promoter, lag operator and RBS. So we use two different methodologies to make the promoters. The first promoter was randomizing the flanking sequences. That is an irrational approach. With this approach, we made 4 promoter sequences. The second approach that we took into consideration was by introducing point mutations and keeping in track the similarity of the T5 promoter with the generated sequence. With this approach, we made 6 promoters, having similarities ranging from 57% to 91%. A. bailey PSP163 vector do not replicate in A. bailey. So we use PBAV1K vector. PBAV1K T5 GFP construct looks like this. So we PCR amplified regulatory element less backbone, and by restriction cloning we introduced the promoter with RBS, which we have submitted as biobricks. We also focused on the RBS. So we took 2 for for which we made two series. For S series, we took the standard BBA B0035 RBS, and for the R series, we use SADISLab RBS, which is RBS calculator, which takes into consideration the promoter, the gene, and the organism, and generates an optimized RBS with that, with taking into consideration these information. Along the similar lines, we made the regulatory element constructs, which we have submitted as BioBricks. And here are the results that we carried out of the fluorometry that we carried out with each promoter. So each promoter was tagged with GFP, and here you can see the T5 promoter, and we got some promoters having higher strengths than T5 and some with lower strengths than T5. The error bars is calculated by taking into account the 2 biological replicates and 3 technical replicates of each promoter. We also got an interesting promoter, P8S. It gives 75-fold higher expression than T5 promoter. Here is the colony. You can see the color. It gives 75% higher expression, 75 folds higher expression. Another problem that we came across was lack of, we asked GenScript for codon optimized GFP. Unfortunately, they did not have the reliable data on codon usage table of ABLE. So we created codon usage table by Qt that we will talk about later. So we generated the codon usage table based on 1194 coding domain sequences. Using that codon usage table, we optimized GFP and mCherry, and we carried out, and then the construction is as follows. We took the same PBL1K, we PCR amplified reporter desk backbone, and then we by restriction cloning, we introduced codon optimized GFP, which is submitted as BioBrick, and the results are as follows. So the y-axis is normalized with respect to T5. Here is the GFP control. Here is the codon optimized GFP, which gives about almost 2 folds higher expression than the control GFP. We have successfully demonstrated in that we have been able to generate a spectrum of different strengths of promoters that are fine-tuned in the ABLE system and can give better control over the expression rates. We have also codon optimized GFP successfully, which also validates our codon usage table. In future, we would like to correlate the promoter sequence with the expression levels of the protein. Also characterize T5 based promoter library that we built in E. coli and other non-gram-negative organisms. Since it's T5 based, T5 promoter can work in other organisms, so we would like to characterize our promoter library in other chassis. Also develop codon usage table for other industrially important chassis using Qt. Understand the high expression levels, the reason for high expression level of P8S, and we could not characterize 5 promoters because their transformation or cloning failed. So we would, in future, we would like to characterize them. We also successfully completed interlab with plate reader data and flow cytometry data. We also collaborated with REC Chennai team by giving them DH5 alpha cells that help them for their interlab studies. So now Kailash will talk about the software tools.
So coming over to the chapter 2 of our project, which is the software tools. So as you previously mentioned, we developed a database in our 2017 project called Chassidex, and we developed 2 other tools other than that. So Chassidex is a database of unconventional host organisms that encourage diversity, and people to start using more and more organisms for their own inherent properties. So this is our revamped version, and what is new in 2018? So we have added more data. We have added the data for R chassis of this year, Acinetobacter bailey. We have collaborated with Vibrio antigens. We have collaborated with Team Marvel for the Vibrio antigens data. We have collaborated with STLMT China for Pseudomonas fluorescens data. And we have a better UI and functionality this time. And we are posting and storing all our data on GitHub. And all the data is in a very flexible format because it's in Markdown. And we have added tags to prevent plagiarism, where we are giving tags like gram-negative, for example, and then if we click gram-negative, we get all the organisms which are gram-negative in our interface. So coming to the tools that we have developed this year, ComicSense. So ComicSense is the icon font for synthetic biology circuits. All our circuits in this presentation so far were developed using ComicSense. And Qt, as we have mentioned previously, is the codon usage table generator. So this is our database, the organisms in our database, and this is how the data looks. We have growth characteristic culture forces and many other protocols that are necessary for any synthetic biologist to start working with the organism. So coming to ComicSense. So ComicSense is an icon font basically to represent the SynBio circuits. So the symbols are adapted from the SVO visual fonts, and we'd like to credit them here. And this font can be downloaded and used on websites and off software unlike any other font. Now the usage of the SynBio, usage of this font is very easy. So all this is there on the website. So you can type P, you get the right facing promoter, and a capital P is the left facing promoter, and so on.
Now I'll talk about our education and public engagement initiatives. So this time we are proud to present Language Project. Language Project is a multilingual science communication initiative. So why is there a need for this? The need is because we are from India, and India has like 22 official languages and many more dialects than this. And only 3% of the Indians can, their primary language is English. So it becomes really difficult to talk with them, communicate with them, or even talk with, even with our parents, tell them what synthetic biology is or what our project is about. So the solution was simple. We created, So the solution was simple. We created this a video of what synthetic biology is, and all these images are hand-drawn. So these videos are like some 2 to 5 minutes, so anyone can just watch it and get what synthetic biology is and what basic biology is, in a very quick way. So we have by now, that was the first video. We have by now published 5 different sets of videos, and all of these videos talk about DNA, RNA, proteins, and central dogma of biology in terms of synthetic biology. So these are the number of languages. We have by now we have 26 languages. 13 of them are Indian languages, and 13 of them are it became an international thing because we collaborated with other HM teams, and 13 of them are foreign languages. And 60 plus videos. We have 61 videos as of now. The thing is, in India, we can't always say that there's reliable internet everywhere. So that's why we printed out these comic strips. This comic strips now, anyone anyone can see this comic strips and understand what synthetic biology is or what DNA is or RNA is. So whom are we trying to communicate with? We are trying to communicate with students because many of them study in rural villages or in governmental schools, and providing them access to science in a language they understand will help foster curiosity and research, and also discussions and innovation. Then policymakers, public, and farmers. So GMO is a very debated topic in India, and it has a negative baggage. So to counter this, we want to make sure that this content is accessible to all of these in a neutral, unbiased way. And professionals. By professionals, I mean scientists, creators, innovators, because synthetic biology and biotechnology is an emerging field in India right now, and it's important to start this discussion in an easy way so that there can be interdisciplinary research. How do we reach out to them? So, sorry for that. Yeah, so we are, our next goal will be to distribute these comics free of charge in rural and governmental schools. We are doing this in collaboration with our professor, Dr. Srinivas Chakravarti, who is a science communicator himself. We are also planning, we are also inducted into India Biosciences. They are a major forum of science communicators in India. Then we are publishing in a lot of in Times of India, which is a major digital newspaper, and IEEE newsletter in India. Then we are not going to stop over here. We have much more content to publish. We are going to talk about GMO in the coming videos, and we are going to talk about iGEM projects which we think will be beneficial for the society, for the Indian society. And we are going to collaborate with an organization called IVIL, which works with farmers in Tamil Nadu. So this is what we are going to do, and this is the outreach of our language project. These are the number of languages we have created all over the world due to our collaborations with different teams in 26 languages. So now, Sathya will talk about it.
Okay, so for human practice part of the project, we started off with school visits. We visited 4 schools in Chennai and organized 6 sessions. We spoke to people from 8 to 12th grade. We spoke to them about synthetic biology and about research and about our project. And we created this sort of game with cards that would teach them the basics of biotic assembly. We also collaborated with a startup called Cambryonics that works on promoting DIY biology, so they organize sessions in schools as well. And we got them to use content that we created for the language project in a bunch of sessions in schools in Kochi. We also, so Sangam was an event that commemorated our institute's Diamond Jubilee, so we got an invitation to go there, and we got to speak to alumni and the general public about synthetic biology, about adaptation, which is our project for the year. We spoke to them about genetically modified organisms and the issues surrounding them. We also organized a 2-day workshop and lecture series within the institute, where these lectures were conducted by the labs of various professors. We also spoke about synthetic biology, about our project, about the importance of communication. We kickstarted a synthetic biology journal club under Professor Karthik Raman, where undergrads and postgraduate students get a chance to communicate with each other. And we organized workshops for students from any department to take part in, where we taught them about synthetic biology and bioinformatics. We also attended the All India iGEM meet organized in the Institute of Science Bangalore, where we got to meet iGEM teams from across the country.
So I'll be talking about the integrated human practices evolved by our teams here. So the codon usage table generator is an industry defined problem, because we contacted in GenScript and they did not give us they replied that they didn't have reliable data, so we had to generate codon usage data on our own. So the solution to that problem was Q, and so we have generated reliable data, and we have experimentally characterized it, and we have experimentally validated it for our chassis, which is ABALE. And we have also set up an online portal, like a forum for ABALE researchers around the world. And seeing the potential for ABALE and its potential applications in degrading aromatic compounds, we decided it was necessary to have such a portal online. We have so far provided all the literature for ABALE, and we have provided all the vectors, strains, protocols, and we are in contact with other labs around the world, so that they can contribute to this. And if you are willing to contribute, please do contact us. So this is our report. So to summarize, the interlab study, we completed the interlab study this year, and we validated for silver, we validated 2 parts which had less strength than D5 and one with more strength than D5. And we have talked about all our collaborations this year and our extensive human practice outreach. And for integrated human practices, we have Bailey News, which is online forum for ABALE enthusiasts, and Cure, which is the codon table generator. And we have improved upon a previous part where we GFP, where we codon optimized the GFP for ABALE, and we saw nearly 2-fold increase in fluorescence. And we demonstrated all this in our experimental results. So we have applied for the best software tool for these reasons, and for educational public engagement for the language project, and for the new basic biobrick for the codon optimized GFP, and the new composite biobrick part for the P3R regulatory unit, and the entire biobrick collection. So we'd like to thank the entire team, and we'd like to thank the INR office, IDT, and the Mehta Family Foundation for sponsoring us in our research activities, and we'd like to thank our instructors, PIs, and advisors for helping us work with them. And we'd also like to thank the entire list of collaborators that we collaborated with this year.